there's a question most people have never thought of asking themselves. Are your emotions actually yours? Or are they signals your brain constructs before you even realize you're feeling them? Modern neuroscience has found the answer, and it completely changes how you see yourself and everyone around you. Part 1. Your brain doesn't react, it predicts. Picture this. You walk into a room. A stranger glances at you and laughs. In less than a second, your heart rate shifts, your shoulders tighten, your stomach drops, and only then does your conscious mind catch up. Why do I suddenly feel so uncomfortable? Here's what that moment reveals. Your brain had already made a judgment before you could think. Psychologist Lisa Feldman Barrett calls this constructed emotion. Your brain isn't passively reacting to the world, it's constantly predicting it, drawing on every experience you've ever had, every loss, every embarrassment, every moment of joy. Every single second, your brain is running a silent calculation. What does this mean? Is it dangerous? What should I do? And before you have an answer, your body has already acted. Hormones shift, blood moves towards your muscles, your nervous system prepares. What you call a feeling is actually your brain interpreting those body signals. And this leads to something remarkable. Two people can stand in the exact same room, experience the exact same moment, and feel completely different emotions. Not because one is stronger or weaker, but because their brains are running different predictions.
Part 2. 6 core emotions, survival tools coded into your DNA. Psychologist Paul Ekman spent decades studying cultures across the world, from modern cities to tribes with zero contact with the outside world, and he found something that changed psychology forever. 6 emotional expressions, identical across every culture on Earth. Not learned, not taught, hardwired into human biology. But here's what most people miss. These emotions aren't random. They are precision tools for survival. Happiness. When you feel happy, your brain is sending a very specific message. What just happened helped you survive. Remember it. Repeat it. Dopamine and serotonin flood your system, not just to make you feel good, but to burn that behavior into memory. But here's what your brain never tells you. Happiness was never designed to be permanent. It's a signal, not a destination. Understanding this frees you from one of the heaviest burdens of modern life, the quiet belief that something must be wrong with you when you're not happy all the time. Fear. Deep inside your brain sits a small structure called the amygdala. It doesn't think, it doesn't analyze, it does one thing only: detect danger before you can reason about it. Your ancestors needed this to survive predators on the savannah. Today, your amygdala runs the same ancient code, but instead of lions, it fires because of an unanswered text, a tense silence after you said the wrong thing, standing up to speak in front of a room full of people. The threat changed, the biology didn't. And here's the most important thing to understand about fear. It isn't always right, it's just fast. Anger. Most people treat anger like a flaw to be corrected, but look at history. The civil rights movement, the fight for gender equality, every revolution that moved humanity forward, all of them began with collective anger at injustice. Why? Because anger isn't about destruction, it's about boundaries. Anger appears when something that matters to you, fairness, safety, dignity, is being violated. Poorly handled, anger tears everything apart. But clearly understood, anger becomes the fuel for change. Sadness. Sadness slows you down, and that is exactly its purpose. When you lose something that matters, a relationship, a version of yourself, a dream you build your identity around, your brain needs time to rebuild its model of the world. Sadness is that process. There's a paradox that psychology has confirmed repeatedly. People who allow themselves to feel sadness actually recover from loss faster than those who suppress it. Because buried emotions don't disappear, they transform into chronic anxiety, emotional numbness, or anger that happens without warning and without reason. Disgust and surprise. Disgust evolved to protect you from contaminated food, disease, poison. but humans extended it into the social world, toward betrayal, corruption, moral violation. That's why when someone does something truly wrong, you don't just feel angry, you feel physically sick. Surprise, on the other hand, is the shortest emotion you'll ever experience. Its function is almost brutally simple. Stop everything. Something didn't match the prediction. Reassess immediately. This is why the unexpected is impossible to ignore, no matter how hard you try.
Part 3. The emotions that shape who you become. The 6 core emotions are instinct, but beneath them lies a deeper layer. Emotions that don't just respond to the world, they determine the kind of person you grow into. Guilt versus shame. Psychologist June Tangney spent her career studying these two emotions, and she found a distinction that could change the way you treat yourself for the rest of your life. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am bad. They sound similar. The consequences are completely different. Guilt moves you toward repair, apologize, make amends, do better. Shame makes you collapse inward, hide, go silent, or lash out at others to protect a self that feels under attack. This is why the people who criticize themselves most harshly don't grow faster. They grow slower. Because they're living in shame, not guilt. Anxiety. Anxiety is fear aimed at things that haven't happened yet. Your brain runs simulations constantly. What if this goes wrong? What if I fail? What if they leave? And here's the strangest part. Your nervous system responds to imagined threats almost identically to real ones. Heart pounding, palms sweating, breath going shallow, all because of something that exists only in your mind. Chronic anxiety is essentially a brain that has become too good at predicting danger, so efficient it can no longer switch off. This doesn't mean you're weak. It means your protection system is working overtime. Loneliness. Neuroscientist John Cacioppo dedicated his life to studying loneliness. What he found should change how seriously we take human connection. Chronic loneliness raises stress hormones, destroys sleep quality, weakens the immune system. Its health impact is comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But why is loneliness so dangerous at a biological level? Because humans evolved as deeply social creatures. To your brain, isolation isn't just uncomfortable. It is a signal of death. Your ancestors couldn't survive alone on the open savanna. Your brain hasn't forgotten that. Awe. Psychologist Dacher Keltner spent years studying an emotion most people have never analyzed. Awe. The feeling of encountering something vast. Standing at the edge of a mountain range, hearing music that raises the hair on your arms, witnessing an act of kindness so unexpected it stops you cold. What happens in the brain? Your sense of self gets smaller. And, paradoxically, your sense of connection to everything around you gets larger. Keltner found that awe reduces self-focused thinking and increases generous pro-social behavior. You become more kind after experiencing awe.
Part 4. Why you feel differently than everyone else. Now we reach the deepest question. If we share the same biology, why does the same situation create completely different emotions in different people? 3 forces are quietly shaping your entire emotional world. Most people never see them. Your past. Every emotional experience you've ever had trains your brain. If you grew up in an unpredictable environment, where love was inconsistent, where safety was never guaranteed, your brain learned to detect threats faster, more sensitively. Even after you've grown up, even after the environment has completely changed, the software keeps running. This is why you sometimes react to a perfectly normal situation in a way you can't fully explain, even to yourself. Not because you're broken, not because you're too sensitive, because your brain is running a program written long ago to protect you. Recognizing this is the beginning of something important. You can update the software. Your body. Emotions don't only exist in the mind. They live in the body. Sleep deprivation amplifies negative emotions by up to 60%. Hunger distorts your perception of threat. Physical exhaustion dismantles emotional regulation entirely. What does this mean practically? The most important decisions of your life, never make them when you're hungry, exhausted, or alone. Your body state determines which emotional world you're currently living in. Your story. Humans are the only species that doesn't just experience the world. We narrate it, and the story you tell changes the emotion you feel completely. Same event. Rejection. Story A, I'm not good enough. Shame, paralysis, withdrawal. Story B, that wasn't the right place for me. Disappointment. Then forward motion. The event is identical. The emotional outcome and the life that follows are completely different. This isn't toxic positivity. This is how the brain actually works. The meaning you assign to what happens to you is one of the few things you genuinely have control over. Most people spend their entire lives at war with their own emotions, suppressing fear, pretending not to be sad, treating anger like a character flaw. But that's the wrong battle. Emotions were never meant to be controlled. They were meant to be understood. Every emotion, even the ones that hurt, is carrying a message about what you value, about the boundaries you need to protect, about the wounds that haven't healed yet, about what actually matters most to you. When you learn to read those signals instead of running from them or being swept away by them, you stop being a passenger in your own emotional life. You become someone who knows themselves. And here's what changes when you truly know yourself. You stop misreading other people. You stop projecting. You stop assuming, because you recognize in them what you finally learned to recognize within yourself. Your emotions are not your enemy. They are the deepest language you have. Learn to listen.